Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Drew. We back again with the Outlet Conversations. Let me go ahead. I got some new guests in the building today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, you guys? I'm Jay Hurt.
Back in here for another episode, Jay Hurt. We ain't run him away. He back.
I am Jared Burgess, or Jay Reed, or whatever I'm known as at the time.
The man of many names. All right. So to start it off, we normally kick it off with a random fact about yourself. What you got?
You want me to start it off? Okay. My random fact is, so you all know Pastor Vince, right? And he's not here, so I got a random fact that relates to him. I can outdrive Pastor Vince on the golf course. That's my random fact.
Oh, wow.
And he's not here to dispute it.
Oh, yeah. So look, we taking that as fact. Yeah.
It's going to be in the comments, right? He's
going to be all in the comments.
He's going to be all in the comments.
All in the comments.
JB, you got a fact for us, man? Tell us about yourself.
My random fact is I went to 3 different colleges in a 4-month period.
Wow.
Oh, man. In one semester? How many girlfriends did you have?
So technically it was 2. So the first 2 schools I was at in the fall semester. Okay. And then I started at the school that I graduated from that spring semester.
Gotcha.
But it totaled 4 months.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's totally crazy. What y'all? How many? Listen, I could barely afford one school.
Right.
Thank God for scholarships.
Hey, man. But that's actually a great topic for us that we can actually start in, talking about colleges. First of all, I just want to mess with you because I see you got on this horrible shirt.
Hate you.
I wish.
You know.
Listen, I know I made a better decision than you did.
Oh, man.
Wow. The shade. Ouch. Y'all see that cloud come over?
Yes. Man, that was a good one.
That was a good one. I had to stop and pause on that one. But, one of the things that even though we take these jabs as black college, graduates, one of the things that I love is like when we see each other and it's all love.
It's all love.
For like somebody who went to Hampton, I'll mess with them talking about who's
real
the real
HU
HU and all of that. But it's a special, like camaraderie that we have when we see each other and Absolutely. It's all love.
I definitely love and appreciate that. If y'all don't know, I went to the real HBCU, the number 1 Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, also known as FAMU. Jay, did you ever attend the HBCU?
I mean, we used to beat you guys all the time. Every chance we had, right? The aristocrat of bands. Tennessee State University.
On,
You're familiar with us.
I think I heard about you.
I didn't finish up at State, but that's where my heart is.
I understand.
And Big Blue forever.
I understand, man.
Big Blue forever.
I think all of us, what is our idea of what education is? Just based off of, how we learn, where we went to with education. We all have degrees, but from its origins, what's your idea of education?
So let me be clear. I still have a few hours to complete my degree.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But that said, my idea of education is the higher learning piece is important, right? There's value there. But it's also really important to understand that education, especially in 2022, it's everywhere.
It
right?
is.
Like my friends talk about YouTube University. We were chopping
right,
up about that before we
started. I got
started,
my doctorate
right?
from YouTube University. Doctorate in life.
Right, exactly.
How do I wash my clothes?
Right.
YouTube University.
Right. How do I change my oil?
Anything.
Right.
Anything.
The things that matter. So
Right.
I just think there's a lot of value in all of the training and all of the things that we learn in the world, and I think all of that is a part of our education.
Right. I agree, man. I think I really enjoyed my time while I was at school, especially being at HBCU. It was fun.
Yes.
Had a lot of fun. But I think for me, the school environment really just helped me, especially being away at school, because I'm originally from Detroit, went to high school here in Atlanta, but I went to school in Florida. Being away and just being on my own kind of helped me grow up during those pivotal years of being a man and being independent and doing certain things and joining my fraternity and different things. Just helped me be more of an individual. But the schooling itself, personally, I think I learned a little bit different. And I ended up learning so much more after school, especially with the internet being available.
Right.
I learned so much more through YouTube University, man.
I'm sorry.
Add one quick thing. I'm
Definitely.
sorry, JB. One quick thing I'll add. One thing about the black college experience, though, is that you get the true essence of the black college,
right?
From somebody who's been to another school, right? That wasn't a black college, right? And I know you entertained some as well. Right. There's some value in that I'll never forget. Like it changed my life.
Definitely. What I was going to say is just to that point. I think the origins of education was built off of efficiency and not necessarily educating every child in the way that they learn.
Absolutely.
Right. And so if you
wasn't it originally meant to create factory workers and just basically get you to follow directions?
Right.
That was the essential part of what education was. It's like, can this person follow directions and then follow through with a task?
Right.
And that's where it originated, but we don't all learn the same way. And we don't all want to necessarily conform to certain.
and that's important because when we talk about education is basically anything that we learn in the way that we learn it.
Absolutely.
The thing that when we say education, that most people mean is the institutionalized education, like going to a school and like you said, having the rules, having to sit down and having to listen to what the rules are. And learning in the most efficient way that we can make someone learn when we have one teacher for 25 kids, right? And so not every kid is going to learn that way. And then what we end up doing is saying that, well, this kid can't learn because they're not able to learn in this way. When there are many ways that we can learn. Absolutely. And there are many ways that we can address all of those learners, but how efficient is it going to be and how much money is it going to cost us?
That's going to be the biggest issue.
Right.
And that's why I think they just kind of formalize it all in one and say, this kid can't learn. It's like, no, you're not teaching him in a level at which he truly understands and comprehends. But it can be done.
Yeah.
But they don't have to spend a little bit more money about that.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about continuing your education, especially being black men? Like, do you guys... what encourages you, or what do you feel like a continued education means to you, or like would you encourage continuing your education to the next generation?
Great question. So for me, I think continuing your education is important when you continue your education in a place that you will apply it. Right?
I agree.
Like I can't tell you how many friends that I have who went to school for X and they have the degree in X and they do Y.
Yeah.
Or they do Q. They do something that has
totally,
nothing to do with what they went to school for, right?
They went to school for X and they actually do 7.
Right.
Exactly.
Something totally different.
Exactly. Something totally different. Has nothing to do with anything. So that said, I think the value is as you go through school, really figuring out where your gifts and talents lie. And then as you figure that out, then okay, when you take that next step, maybe it's some type of training. I'm a coach, right? So maybe it's coach training, or maybe it's going to get your degree in, being a therapist, or whatever that looks like. But just finding something that applies to what you do, as opposed to just saying, "I'm gonna go get my MBA," but you might not be interested in business, right?
I was there.
So that sparks in me a great question: is the way that we choose schools and go to school and decide on what our major is that form of schooling outdated?
I definitely believe so. Well, to a degree, right? For me, going to college was just the next level, right? Yeah. It's like you go from middle school to high school to college. Both of my parents have college degrees, so I was just in a blessed situation. I know everybody doesn't have that, but for me, it was just the next step. I just knew I was going to college, but didn't even know what I wanted to study, didn't know what I wanted to do. And I think my parents did a great job of educating me about different areas. I knew growing up, like I swam. I was a swimmer. I used to go to the Caribbean a lot. They was like, you like animals, you like swimming. You want to study biology or like be in the ocean with the animals or something? They exposed me to a lot. I think that was a good thing, but I just liked business. And I was like, you guys got business degrees. I should follow in y'all footsteps. And then they coached me a little bit on it. But I really had to find something that I liked.
Right.
And back to what you were saying with education, it's like there's certain things that I think I just wouldn't have comprehended had I not had a true interest in it. You know what I mean? If it was just a structure like you should just do this if I'm following someone else's rules. Yeah. You know what I mean? You should, not that I had anything against microbiology or wanting to be around animals, but I think me doing something that I personally wanted to do meant a lot more, and I was able to retain a lot more. Even being in school, I learned that I really enjoyed media production a lot more, and it gave me exposure to go over to the journalism building and be a part of their program and learn so much more as well.
Absolutely. So my thought on that is, I think there is value in higher education for some people, right? I think it's finding the right fit. Obviously, there are some careers and things that you need to go to school to become a doctor, to become an attorney, things like that, right? But I also think there's a lot of value still for children that need to have an opportunity to be on their own and become an adult, right? To become social. To one of the things that, again, we talked about earlier was the fact that a lot of times our friends, as we grow and we build our networks, our friends are a lot of the folks we went to college with, right? Our high school buddies want to hit us up on Facebook, but we don't have anything in common anymore, right? We don't talk about the same stuff. I was 12
years old.
Like, I don't know you, bro.
And it's cool to be like, I remember you as a kid, but so much happens between those people, the years of 18 and 21.
It's good to stay connected, but it's not, building in the same network, in the same department, the journalism department for you, or in my case, in the recording industry department and people I'm still connected with, things like that. So I think there's value for the right person, but I think if somebody has a path that they want to follow and they feel like, okay, I can get to where I'm trying to go to and take this different path, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, and I agree in the sense that, like, I think the best part about college was the socialization.
Absolutely.
Like you said, like, you got lifelong friends.
Did I say that too fast?
Yeah. Because you learned a lot through that, right?
Absolutely.
And you may not have understood it at the time. But you learned a lot of what to do and some what not to do.
How to manage people, how to manage systems, even with like financial aid situations, how to deal with teachers, even having the support of certain teachers. The socialization was 90% of it for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, definitely there to get my education, but it wasn't like high school to where you're in school from 8 till 5 every day. College, I could have a 1 hour class that day and it's up to me to do the rest. So it did become a lot of the socialization between my peers, managing my own time. All of that meant a lot in the development of who I was as a true adult and a man.
Absolutely. And I had to make sure I had time to go to the KUC and play spades.
You got to.
What was going on, right? Let me ask y'all a question. So, what do you think education will look like in the next 10 years? I know you have a small child, and I know you are raising a child as well. What do you guys think it'll look like?
Man, it's especially after the pandemic. I think it's totally getting reformed. I don't know. I'm not in the industry of education currently, but I think we have to find out what the next level is right now. And it right now with remote learning, I think people are like, okay, it now gives us an opportunity to teach at different ways. Like, I can't just teach at you. Now I have visual aspects that I can bring in. I may have examples I can bring in someone to speak to you. I believe education is gonna change even at a higher level, a secondary level, but I'm not sure what it's gonna be. We got to do something though.
What do you think, Jay?
So I've seen it from both sides. Like, the distance learning was necessary. We couldn't just pack all of the kids in the classroom, especially with the way that some classes are overcrowded, and say, well, forget about the virus. This is the way that we've been doing it.
Right.
But I've also seen, with my 6, almost 7-year-old, he just couldn't. He's a social kid.
I got you.
Sitting in a room looking at a screen just won't do it for him.
I don't know if I could do it.
I don't know if I can do it either. I always hated, and I've been to school for, I was in school for a long time. I got my undergraduate degree.
Been in 80 schools in 3 months. He knows all of the system. I didn't like the way they take attendance over here.
Yeah, so I'm leaving. But to go on to a postgraduate programs and get my master's and get up to the point of being close to getting my PhD, I've been to a lot of school, and I always hated those online classes. I need to be in front of a teacher. I need to have that feel of being in a classroom. And so I understand why some kids that's not the best way for them.
Right.
But I do think that it is, you can address all learners. Some kids can come in and, they are able to do that.
Just solely that.
Right. And some kids can stay at home and that be a good motivating factor for them. And I think that being able to fuse that.
That's mainly what I was saying. I wasn't saying like, we all need to go to remote learning. Yeah. That's definitely not, because I would be asleep every day. My screensaver would be a picture of me like this, and I would be in the bed. But I think it just showed us that it's time to change the way we educate.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Especially with technology being what it is. It's like, even if we had to bring something into the classroom, or now just, I don't know. We've got to change the way we educate. Right. And I like going back to YouTube University changed my learning experience.
Yeah.
Because between learning how to wash dishes or wash clothes, changing my oil, changing my brakes, learning about equipment, whatever, learning your taxes, you can do anything online. And I think for me, I'm a visual learner. I want to see it done, and I think that helped me as opposed to being in the classroom. I actually have an accounting degree. Truth be told, I remember the day of graduation, sitting in my cap and gown, saying, "So what does an accountant do?"
Wow.
Even though they gave me a degree.
Yeah.
I remember that day, and I was like, not so much that I knew the different tasks, but I was like, I didn't know what day-to-day was. Like, what would an accountant do day-to-day? I was unaware. But go to YouTube, follow the day in the life of an accountant. I was like, so that changes education for me. And I think the whole school system should do something to update their system. Like,
you know what I think is dope about that, Drew, is so the value in YouTube also lies in the fact that people get to pick what they want and where their passion lies and where their gifts lie, right? So if I know that, for example, I'm not into biology, right? So I pushed biology back as far as I could. So if I don't want to do that and I want to spend my time mixing, or if I want to spend my time, in the studio or in a session, and I'm trying to learn my A&R thing for music, then I'd rather spend my time there, right? Get on YouTube and figure it out, as opposed to, man, I got this biology test and I'm not feeling
something
it.
That really don't matter to you.
Really matter. It's not going to add value. Now, I think there's some, foundational courses.
Definitely.
Yeah, you need the foundational courses, right? I need to know how to count.
Right.
The arithmetic, reading, writing, arithmetic.
Right. I need some. I need to have even a foundational philosophy class. Some things to give me some education background, right? But taking that next level, I think having those tools and those things that I know that I want to do, I can accelerate to where I'm trying to go. So instead of getting there, beginning to get there and see the fruits of my labor in my 30s, if I'm rocking with something like YouTube University in a college setting, I may be getting there in my early 20s.
I agree. Right. I think that's one thing we really should just encourage is broadening the horizons to the youth ahead of us, and saying, what are you interested in?
Yeah.
Right.
And now we can focus our learning in that direction.
Self-discovery.
Yes.
Right. Because a lot of these, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I first got. I know I wanted to make a lot of money.
Listen.
And I chose the degree.
I wanted to be the ice cream man, so I could give me some free ice cream. Until I found out I was lactose intolerant. I'm either gonna give me some. That was second grade, y'all. They asked me.
Oh, okay. I was about to say now. Hopefully that wasn't at 18.
No. You still want to be the ice cream man.
I thought about it. I was like, man, I can give me some.
That was a different kind of ice cream man. They were selling something.
It was a different ice cream. It was a different package over there.
Oh man. But no. So I think that self-discovery is certainly important. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got to undergrad. I was like, I wanted to make a lot of money, and I didn't want to have to go to grad school, which is crazy because I ended up going back twice. But the degree that I found was radiation therapy.
Really?
It's like you didn't have to go get a second degree, and you start off making close to 80.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let me pick that one.
I'll take that one.
I wasn't interested in it though. So
right.
even though I was doing okay in my classes and I was getting B's, couple C's, and B's and A's, I wasn't interested in it. And then thankfully, right before I got too deep into that degree, I was able to switch, and I actually got into education. So I'm an educator by trade.
Gotcha.
I love teaching, and so that period of self-discovery, like I wouldn't have, if I was just still focused on, okay, I need to make a lot of money,
right,
then I probably would have continued with that degree and
just to make money and be
unhappy. Yeah,
that's definitely the key. I think that's the key to the next generation, is just exposing them to a lot.
Yeah,
because I think I know it was mine as well, just to say, hey, I want to make some money.
Yeah,
because we really don't know ourselves. But also, funny thing about that is, it's kind of the same way like with a job. Like I think in school I was like, man, I'll study anything as long as I can make some money, right? Same thing like when I first got a job, they like, why should we hire you? I'm like, man, I just want some money. Hire me, this and that. But then the more jobs I had, I realized what I do and what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. What I will put up with and what I'll be like, listen, I ain't dealing with this. So this ain't the position for me.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what I enjoy, which is gonna make me more efficient and effective, and then those are the things that end up thriving, as opposed to like being like, I just want to make money. Well, it's going to be a lot of people in their job who hate their job, who can pay their bills, but would quit quick if they can just have some peace.
Right.
So I think the big thing is self-discovery, like you spoke on, and just figuring out what individuals enjoy.
Absolutely. Man, just to kind of pile on that a little bit. So one of the things back in my college days, like I said, I went to school for recording industry. Mm-hmm. So I had already made the decision, I want to make money. I'm just like, y'all, I want to ball out, right? I want to have a good time. But I had such a passion for it that when I went to class, for example, contract management class, I wanted to crush them other dudes. Right. It felt good to win.
You didn't feel that way about biology?
No, I didn't want to cut no frog. The frog is already dead. Why am I messing with that dude? Let that dude live. Let him do his thing over there. Yeah. But I was really enjoying it. And then when I went to do an internship that turned into a job, like that passion transferred over. So I think when kids are coming up these days and they're making it happen, right, they have an opportunity for that to take that passion and take it to another level. I'll just use one other quick example. My daughter is into designing cars. So she's trying to get on that path. So she went to California to intern with Porsche.
Oh, that's
right?
awesome.
She's not even in college.
That's
got the internship, right?
That's crazy.
And she's making moves, and ultimately I know that's where she wants to wind up.
Right.
So it's about, even though I would like for her to get some of that college experience to get socialized, at the end of the day, it's about her path and how she wants to live it and walk it out. So I just think that's incredibly important, finding where your talent lies, where your gifts lie, and what you feel good about, man. Because at the end of the day, even if you make all the money in the world, if you hate it, you like, man, I don't want to do this job. I don't want to work for you.
Listen,
I don't like nothing about this.
I realize nothing is more valuable than peace and happiness.
Peace of mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You cannot buy peace in this world.
Nah.
So no matter how much money you got or what you think you're doing, you can't buy peace.
Well, and that's why we see like some of these guys who make a lot of money, committing suicide.
Absolutely.
And you see the unhappiness, in the way that they make moves, like, and it's just unfortunate. Because you think to yourself, being on the other side of the fence,
you'd be like,
I need some money. Like, if I had that money, there's no way I could be unhappy.
If I had half of what he got, why would I think of doing something like that?
But see, y'all already walking to happiness, though.
Right.
Yeah. You already walking to happiness.
But that is something. Back to my self-discovery, I had to learn that, though. It wasn't about the money. I was like, listen, I'd rather enjoy myself.
Right. Yeah. You live and enjoy, right? So if you have joy, the great prophet Deion Sanders once said that money, Coach Prime, that money doesn't change you, it changes your address,
right?
And it changes, it levels up to who you already are,
right? It amplifies,
it amplifies you. So if you're already walking in joy, If you get more money, you're just gonna be happier. If you're already a giver, you're gonna give more.
That's why people who chase it keep chasing it, because they still ain't happy.
That's right. Yeah. But if you got money and you aren't happy and you aren't fulfilled, the money's not gonna make you happy, and it's not gonna make you fulfilled.
Right.
It's gonna make you more of who you already are.
Right.
Listen, this is a great topic right
here.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying our discussion, man.
I was thinking about when I was a kid and not a kid, but like when I was coming out of college, and the reasons why I wanted money, it wasn't to like let me ball out. Back when, and I don't think we knew that LeBron was doing all of what he was doing. Back then, I graduated college in 2007, and some of those things that he's doing right now with his friends and how that was the idea why I wanted money. Like, oh, I got a friend who does this. Like, I want to be in a position that invest
help everybody out.
You know, and so that's why I wanted money. Like, obviously, every once in a while, being in the club, like that was, you know, back then.
Ball out a little bit. You know.
Right. But it was really about helping the people around me. And that, to me, that was the thing that having money would bring me joy by being able to help the people around me.
I get that part. That part. And I think that comes actually, you know, through once we have our self-discovery and figure out who we really are and what we enjoy doing in life,
right,
that still comes out.
Yeah.
Even if it's not money. So sometimes it's just being, you know, educated. Like, who's to say that you won't be educating your friends' kids and having a different eye to really be able to teach them. Other teachers be like, man, this kid can't learn. But you like, I know exactly who you are. I can really touch you at a different level. Right. So now that creates a different level of satisfaction to him and his family at a different level. So that can bring you just as much joy as money almost could.
Definitely.
So
in everyone's industry.
I have a question kind of tied to that, right, about education. So the children of this age, right, I'm showing my age.
The TikTokers?
Right.
The TikTokers. I got TikTok, though. You know what I'm saying?
Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on TikTok. But
my TikTok is TokTik.
FAMU education.
Exactly.
I figured it'd be able to easy to type in.
So how do you motivate kids in this era when one of the things I see is that children of this era have realized all the stuff doesn't mean as much as we thought it did, or much as we thought or our parents thought, right? They don't need a big house. They don't need a fancy car. They can live in a cracker box and drive a Yugo, right, going all the way back, or I guess driving a Honda Fit or whatever, right, or catching an Uber, right? Don't even need a license.
Don't even need no car.
Don't even need a license. So how do we motivate them to get education in whatever that looks like?
I mean, I think it's kind of like what we've been talking about. It has to be on the things that they are, like
what you enjoy,
the things that they enjoy, like the things that they are passionate about. And finding that isn't always easy. Like I worked at
not at all.
I worked at Douglas High School on the west side. Shout out to Doug. And a lot of those
it's not Atlanta. No, just Doug High School, not Atlanta. That was funny. I'm sorry. Doug is definitely Atlanta.
Yeah. Really Atlanta.
Yeah.
I saw some stuff in Doug that I probably wouldn't talk about on here.
Yeah.
But no, so there's a lot of talent in those kids over there.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, and that's the thing I like about the staff over there. Shout out to the staff at Douglas High School. They're amazing. A lot of those kids, because of the efficiency of education, like they kind of get held back because nobody has taken the time to see what it is that they're truly passionate about.
Right. And they're definitely creatives and amazing people.
Right. As much as the staff is great over there, because of the efficiency of education, a lot of those kids just won't get it. They won't receive that nurturing and that love because of, you got 30-something kids in one class. What do we expect the teacher to do? You know, you can take an interest to some of those kids. Some of those kids are going to be a little more standoffish. And there's nobody to really address them. And so
some kids have already given up, feeling like they like, man, I don't know this stuff. I don't like this stuff. But no one takes the time to be like, I mean, you just as special as the ones who do get it.
Yes.
And what can I do to cultivate you a little bit more?
Right.
So I think that's all it is just the exposure. Like I keep saying it. It's like let's speak to our kids and our youth and figure out what they enjoy.
Right.
And then get them on the path. One thing I really appreciate that my parents did is when I told them that I was interested in business, they started hazing me.
Oh yeah.
Listen, but my dad used to be on me. He said, "Man, if you want to be a businessman, be about your business, man."
Yeah.
And that was before Jay-Z. Right. That's what my dad used to say. But I remember they found out the things that I enjoyed. That was one thing I even appreciated about my mom. Realized she was like, well, you like water, you like swimming, you like the ocean, you might like microbiology. She opened my eyes up to a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
That's one thing I appreciated. Even when I was telling them, I remember being in high school and I kind of started getting into video production. I didn't really know that I could make money off of it, but I was into it. Wanted a video camera. At the time, it was like $300, but I had to like create a business proposal for my parents on why they should get me this $300 camera.
Love that.
And I was like, looking back, I was like, that's genius.
Yeah.
Because they was like, why do you want it? Not just to say I want it, but I had to put a presentation on what I was going to do with it, you know, how it would affect everything. And I was like, listen, I really enjoy creating videos for me and my friends. This is different from the one we have because of this perks and this perks. And with this, I'll be able to do so much more. And it opens up the door for me to create bigger projects. And they was like, all right, cool. So I really put together a PowerPoint presentation. I appreciate it. At the time, I was like, man, what?
Why I got to do this?
Yeah, but being in business school.
Listen, I want you to tell your parents thank you for making me a better parent. 'Cause I'm still in that.
Yes, that's
I am
dope.
still in
because
that.
there's a camera in my house as we speak right now. Somewhere around that price range. It's got a lot of dust on it.
And they say, why you need another one? You got that one. You don't use it.
Right.
They said, all right.
A bunch of other stuff.
I was truly blessed because I know my parents could be like, here you go, just get me one. And they was like, nah, put together a presentation on why.
That's awesome. I love that.
I use that in in interviews. So I always been business minded. You know, my parents made me put together projects in high school, but it was good. I think this was a great talk, man. It's great to get fellas input on especially education, which we have not been seen in that light too often. I think it's great to have a good conversation with everybody. Yeah. And man, really want to appreciate for y'all all for coming through. Y'all got any final words? Anything you want to say to the people?
Let's see. Education is what you make it.
True.
You know, education is what you make it. It's not about sitting in the classroom. Like anything that you want to learn right now, there's no barrier to you learning it.
Facts.
You know.
You want to know the crazy thing? Just a quick moment. I was always like in school, like I can catch a lot of stuff in class and didn't really have to go home and do a lot of homework. Then one time in college, I was like, this stuff kind of hard. So I was like, let me actually read this book. Do y'all know the stuff they was teaching was actually in the book?
Yes.
I was like, this is what he talking about. I get it now. I had never really looked at books. Most of the time I could just catch it when you tell them, you like, yeah, if you just move this over here and do this, that's what it is. And I was like, I got it. But there's a couple times it slide through and I missed it. I was like, all of that is in the book. Yeah. But you can really learn, to your point, jokes aside, you can really learn anything you want, especially with the internet. There's books about anything you want. Yeah. We may not read the book, but then there's a video for it.
We need to read the book.
You should read
We should read the book.
You should try and learn on all different levels. So if you can hear someone speak about it audioly, is that a word?
Audioly. I think you just
auditorially?
Yeah, something like
that. We just making up words here.
If you can hear someone speak on it intelligently, I think that's one way you should learn. You should also watch it being done, and then you should also read it for yourself.
Definitely.
And I think at that level, you can actually learn something new, no matter what it is, whether it be a language, whether it be a skill set, changing tires, like anything.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think for me, two things I'd say about education. So again, going back to what we talked about a lot,
audibly,
right?
Audibly.
So finding what we want to do, right? Finding our niche, finding our path in life. Once we do that, just be committed to whatever that looks like, whatever that work looks like. Just stay committed, stay down, make it happen, and be consistent. Like, do whatever you do over and over and over again. I have this little motto at home that says, practice, adjust, repeat. Practice, adjust, repeat. Practice, adjust, practice, feedback, adjust, repeat. And what I mean by that is, so let's say you're a shooter like Steph Curry, right? So he's going to practice. Let's say he's not shooting real well, right? Dale Curry came in and revised his shot when he was 12 years old. A little fun fact. So now he got feedback from somebody who was better than him. Then he adjusted his shot. And now he's the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah. That's crazy. Didn't know that.
And he just repeats. He just keeps making shots, keep making shots.
That's the real cycle right there.
That's it, man.
Especially when you're doing something you love. So no matter what it is, stay consistent with it and just continue to educate yourself in whatever field it is.
Yeah.
100.
Man, that was a great moment right there. Man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate y'all coming through.
Yeah.
Hope y'all enjoyed it as well. We're going to wrap this episode up. Thanks for coming. See y'all next time.
Peace.